drones from Antichrist Turkey are fighting each other in Sudan's proxy civil war. From the print, May 24, 2026. The downing of a drone by Sudan's own fleet exposes chaotic logic of Africa's proxy conflicts, where Turkish weapons are now being turned against themselves. Sudan's Air Force last Friday is believed to have shot down a Turkey-made combat drone using an identical Turkey-made drone from its own fleet, what is already being described as a drone-on-drone aerial kill. According to reports, the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, intercepted a Bayraktar Akinci unmanned aerial vehicle near Ad-Damazin on May 23, approximately 75 kilometers from the Ethiopian border. The drone is believed to have entered Sudanese airspace from Ethiopian territory. Khartoum alleges the drone belonged to the Ethiopian Air Force and was being operated as part of a UAE-backed proxy campaign in support of the Rapid Support Forces (RSF), the paramilitary rebel faction at war with Sudan's government. The SAF has earlier accused both the UAE and Ethiopia of aggression against Sudan. What Ethiopia and the UAE have done is direct aggression against Sudan and won't be met with silence. It was quoted as saying in a May 5 report by Al Jazeera. It was the second such intercept this month. Earlier in May, Sudan's air defenses downed another drone from the same fleet north of El Obeid. Sudan's technical team said they analyzed the UAV's data and confirmed that the drone, serial number S88, belongs to the UAE. The UAE has not made any statement publicly about the latest accusation, but it has repeatedly denied any involvement in backing RSF. The Sudan War. Sudan's civil war erupted in April 2023, pitting the SAF, led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, against the RSF, commanded by Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo. What began as a military power struggle has since hardened into a regional proxy conflict, with foreign actors channeling advanced weaponry into a theater already defined by mass displacement and humanitarian collapse. The UAE is widely regarded as the RSF's most influential external backer. Abu Dhabi's interests in Sudan are layered. Through the RSF, it seeks access to Sudan's fertile agricultural land for food security purposes, and control over the country's strategically positioned ports, according to international non-profit organizations. Sudan is also among Africa's largest gold producers, with the RSF controlling several major mines. For years, billions of dollars worth of Sudanese gold has allegedly been channeled illicitly to Dubai, effectively bankrolling the rebel campaign, watchdogs tracking money laundering operations worldwide have said. Sudan's geography makes it worth fighting over. It sits at the intersection of the Red Sea, the Sahel, and the Horn of Africa, a position that confers both strategic depth and economic leverage. Turkey's exposure. The irony sharpening this episode is Ankara's own exposure. The Washington Post reported last year that Turkish company Bayraktar had negotiated an arms deal with the Sudanese army, while another arms firm in the country, Arka Defense, was in extensive contact with a senior RSF figure. In phone calls and other correspondence, an Arka executive discusses weapons sales with Algani Hamdan Daglo Musa, in charge of arms procurement for the paramilitary and the brother of its leader, the report said. The Post could not determine if Arka, also a Pentagon contractor, had provided arms to the RSF. The executive quoted in the report said the company had never sold weapons to RSF. The Akinci drone. The Bayraktar Akinci is a heavy, multi-purpose strike and reconnaissance UAV developed by Turkish firm Bayraktar. Development began in the mid-2010s as part of Turkey's drive for autonomy in precision-guided weapons and aviation. The drone made its first flight in December 2019 and was officially inducted into the Turkish Armed Forces in 2021. Built as a heavier, more capable successor to the Bayraktar TB2, the Akinci can carry out both reconnaissance and strike missions and is equipped to deploy long-range cruise and air-to-ground missiles. Based on its distinctive features, open-source observers on social media identified the downed aircraft as an Akinci version B.
They arrive without warning, just a faint hum above. Then, impact. Bodies torn, buildings shattered, futures erased. From Ethiopia's hill towns to Sudan's war-scarred streets, Turkish drones are rewriting the rules of war. Not with boots on the ground, but death from above. This isn't tomorrow's warfare. It's already here, and Africa is the proving ground. From Ethiopia to Mali, Africa's skies are increasingly patrolled by Turkish drones. Sophisticated UAVs that promise air dominance, but too often deliver indiscriminate devastation. As governments embrace drone diplomacy over dialogue, civilians are paying the price in blood. In Gedeb, a modest Christian town in Ethiopia's Amhara region, Easter is usually a time of reflection and repair. This year, it was a massacre. On April 17, 2025, as townsfolk gathered to restore a local primary school, part of a community Easter tradition, a drone strike tore through the crowd. It was just before 11 a.m. The death toll remains unclear. Some say 50 were killed. Others claim more than 100. The Ethiopian government has not commented on the attack. But data from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project paints a chilling picture. Since 2023, more than 669 people have died in 70 drone strikes across the Amhara region alone. This wasn't a fluke, say experts. The drones used were equipped with high-resolution optics and advanced targeting systems.
The drones continued to target civilians despite the presence of sophisticated sensor systems.
Initially deployed in the brutal war in Tigray, Ethiopia's drone fleet is now being used in its campaign against the Fano militia, an Amhara nationalist force. But instead of neutralizing combatants, these aerial strikes are leaving civilians terrified. At the heart of this transformation is Turkey, now the leading exporter of combat drones to Africa. The Bayraktar TB2 and its more advanced counterpart, the Akinci, are fast becoming weapons of choice for regimes seeking low-cost air superiority. Why? These drones are far cheaper than traditional fighter jets, come with short delivery times, and, unlike Western defense systems, carry no human rights conditionality.
Drones offer sub-Saharan African militaries more affordable and flexible access to air power.
A full set of 3 TB2S costs around $6 million, less than a second-hand commercial aircraft. That price and the political flexibility have attracted buyers across the continent. In Mali, Turkey's TB2S helped the military seize the symbolic town of Kidal from Tuareg rebels in late 2023, something years of French operations couldn't achieve. In Chad, Turkish drones effectively filled the vacuum left by France after its troop withdrawal in 2022. No military alliances were needed. Deals were sealed directly with presidents, quickly, quietly, and often without parliamentary oversight.
With Turkey, we have a speed that we don't have elsewhere, not even in Russia or China.
Across Africa, Turkish drones now feature in conflicts in Libya, Somalia, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Mali, Sudan, and Chad, turning Ankara into the continent's go-to arms dealer. The TB2, which first gained notoriety during conflicts in Syria, Libya, and Nagorno-Karabakh, has proven versatile. It can loiter for 27 hours, carry smart munitions, and operate from short runways. Its bigger sibling, the Akinci, can fly at higher altitudes and carry heavier payloads, but the human cost remains the same. The effect on the ground? Catastrophic. In Ethiopia, children were blown apart while painting school walls. In Sudan, Turkish drones, supplied to the Rapid Support Forces, are targeting neighborhoods in Khartoum, killing dozens weekly. Across the continent, drone-related deaths are surging. Independent observers estimate tens of thousands of civilians have now perished in strikes carried out using Turkish UAVs.
Not only have these countries failed to fully stabilize, but conflicts have often become entrenched or even escalated.
Even Turkey's cutting-edge models are facing blowback. In March 2025, 2 Akinci drones were shot down, one over Algeria and another in Iraq's Kurdish region. Insurgent groups are adapting. Iranian-made loitering munitions, jamming systems, and improvised counter-drone technologies are spreading fast. What began as a one-sided advantage is quickly becoming an arms race, except this time it's automated. Militias across Africa are also developing their drone capabilities, either by acquiring commercial quadcopters or building locally. In Somalia, Al-Shabaab has started using drones for surveillance. In Nigeria, Boko Haram-linked groups have attempted drone bombings, albeit with limited success for now. Turkey, meanwhile, is pushing further, announcing new drone deals with Morocco, Somalia, and Niger. It's not just exporting machines, it's exporting a strategy. Back in Gadeb, silence lingers where laughter once echoed. The school remains in ruins. No official inquiry has been launched, no reparations offered. The town has buried its dead and waits for the next strike. What happened here wasn't just an act of war, it was a warning that in this new age of drone warfare, the sky itself has become a weapon. Precision was supposed to make war cleaner. Instead, it's made killing easier, quicker, quieter, and politically deniable. Across Africa, Turkish drones are altering the nature of war, not to end it, but to automate it. And in doing so, they're turning everyday skies into zones of silent terror, where a mechanical hum may be the last sound you ever hear.